This car beat all of its competition with safety, which is very different than all the other cars. This car is also used for the Chinese military. Look at that. Bang, bang. This is the BAIC BJ30 or BAIC, whatever you want to call it. And I'm actually very excited to be reviewing this car. It's going to be the first Chinese car review that we're going to be doing on this channel. And before we even get started, make sure you guys subscribe and you'll find out a lot more about this car. Anyways, getting right into it, let's talk about the price first. The price, this is valued at 124,000 dirhams, which is absolutely insane for what you get at this car. You will value for, what is it called? Value for buck, buck for money, whatever the hell it is, that saying. This is it. Amazing. Let's just get started, right? Look at the front. I feel like this entire car goes through the exact same theme throughout the entire car. Whether it's the headlights, interior, exterior, it all looks the same. Nothing looks out of place. It just looks very clean. I really love this look. It says here, multi-sensory detection. I have no idea what that means. We're gonna be figuring it out. So basically, before we even get more into detail, we're gonna be figuring out this car together. I know nothing about it, you know nothing about it, so let's go find out more about it. All right, so moving on to the second thing we always look at, which are the rims. I love the design, but there's just one issue with this, is the chrome. I'm really not the biggest fan of chrome. I feel like chrome should have been like deleted back in the 2000s, early 2000s, right? We're in 2025, so these chromes better get out of here, especially with these brake calipers. Look at that. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but design looks clean. I'm assuming these are 19-inch rims, very nice. There's nothing more you could talk about. We will get more into details about how well this car can perform in off-road. Even though the car is not high, and this is like a mid-level SUV, it's not too big, it's not too small. I'd compare this to the T1, the Jetour T1, or the Toyota Fortuner, right? So now we're gonna get into why this car is better than both of these cars. Anyways, let's go back here. As you can see, it's all-wheel drive. This is built to be destroyed. This is built for all of these like thick desert features, or literally in the terrain, wherever you want to go, this car will be able to take care of it. And personally, I think it might be better than the Jeep. So let's find out. I did tell the camera guys not to actually see what's in the back here because I was so invested in this because it looks so sick. But anyways, to get this trunk open, you have to press a button. Pretty nice. It's no longer, find it, whatever, it's just right there, pretty clear. And then here we get to the interesting part, right? Look at this, bro. Look at this. Unboxing. We have to get the legs from here. Hold on, we have to try this out. Very easy to just, screw in. But I feel like this is actually much needed for a car that you could actually take to the desert. Imagine you're just going on a trip with the boys, or with the family, and you wanna have a table so you could just have your nice shai karak in the desert with fire there at night during winter. But nothing beats this. 10 years later. Okay, anyways, let's see this. Look at that. Come on, don't tell me this is not sick. What car has this? Name me one car that has a table in it. That you can take it out and just plank it right there. Imagine, you're chilling, then you just wanna you wanna sit here, you have, your thing here. Ow. But it's inside the car. You have people sitting here with, this like majlis for the desert. Perfect. This is literally just, man, I love this. I'm like getting too excited because Chinese cars are up there. I'm a German fanatic. I love German cars, but come on, how could you compete with something at this price range and these features? Why doesn't any German car have something like this? They should step up their game for sure. So we take these, we go here, and then boom, you take this, it has its holders in here. Done. Okay, let's move on. Like I said, this car has the same theme throughout the entire car, and it's just nice, man. If we're comparing this to the T1, the Jetour T1, as in just looks-wise, aesthetic-wise, I don't know how the T1 performs, but this one probably performs better than it. This looks more nice, classy. It has everything you need, and it has off-road features, and in the city, you're just chilling. Let's actually open the engine, right? Let's see what kind of engine we're using here. And just like the German cars, 2 pulls and you have it open. You don't need to go find the freaking thing that takes me like 10 years to do. So let's have a look in the engine here. It is a 1.5 liter inline 4 turbo, pushing around 405 horsepower. That's all you need. You don't need more than 405 horsepower. And 520 Newton meters of torque. Pretty powerful car if you ask me, right? Let's get inside and see the interior of this car. I'm a bit harsh on this car. It's an off-road car, so you have to be, you know, like rugged, man. But anyways, just look at this, man. It's beautiful. I feel like it's designed very well. Like, you have a nice little pattern here, even though, yes, this is plastic, but yet again, it's just the doors. And, you know, it's meant to handle all these, like, tough situations. There's leather here. Feels very, very nice. You can tell there's two different leather materials here. Looks very nice. So now we're inside the car. We're gonna be looking at the interior. So we have the start button here. I'm used to it being a circle, but it's actually a square, which is completely fine. Now the car is singing. It has a theme song, which reminds me of when you're opening your PlayStation 2. And it has that theme song going on. Anyways, cool. We have here a 14.3-inch screen. Very nice. It has very unique features. I like the interface. It's quite different. Usually now in all these cars, you have the same interface, but this is nice. You could change, you know, the FM in different countries, but through Saturn, I guess, because, bro, that's cool. The features that we have here are quite unique, but also you'd see them in other cars too. Let's see, we have here different modes. We have comfort mode, snow mode, sand mode, sports, and comfort. And all of them have a very nice picture in the background. So it splits the car. So when we're in comfort right now, it actually shows pandas. That's very nice. You know, when it keeps switching, it shows different things. We have auto hold feature, which is pretty necessary in a 2025 car, right? Hill descent control. My English is terrible. Hill descent control. I think it's, you know, when you're going down the hill. Let's look at the center console here, right? I love how this looks. Yet again, I'm not the biggest fan of chrome, but while it's inside this car, it looks very nice. It's just very well put, right? We have here the scroll wheel, which has a unique design in the middle here with all these lights that light up with it. And then we have a unique way to show the gear. By the way, this car is an automatic with 7-speed gear, but when it's on electric, it has 2. Press the parking and brake on this. And then we could put it on drive, actually. And then we could probably start driving. No, we can't start driving. But instead, we could start dancing. Look at that. Bang, bang. So when you want to play some music and act like you're, you know, in the streets of the US, bang. Well, I'm assuming it doesn't drive because you actually need to have your seatbelt on, and probably because that door is open. So it's very smart and safe. By the way, this car beat all of its competition with safety, which is very different than all the other cars. This car is also used for the Chinese military. Get that. You don't see no other Chinese car getting used for the military, but this car is. So other than that, we also have the parking here, which makes a very nice, satisfying noise. Let's hear this. Then we have here cup holders, 2 cup holders to be specific. I don't know what cups you'll be fitting here. I feel like this one's a bit too small, maybe just a water bottle. We have a wireless charging pad here. Does it charge? Let's do the test. And bang, it charges. I don't know how quick it is, but it does the job, right? In here, we have a storage compartment. We have here this part. I'm assuming you can just have all the things here, but then it actually goes quite deep in, and there's a vent inside this, just in case you want to keep your water or whatever it may be. It keeps it cold. Not refrigerated, but it has AC for your drinks. So here we have these seats, unique leather. Feels very nice. I love this pattern and design that it has on it. And fun fact, all the seats are ventilated and heated. Which yet again, I'll mention this in every single video we're gonna be doing. Here in Dubai, we need that because it gets very hot. It reaches 45 degrees during summer, even higher sometimes. So having ventilated seats at least prevents you from sweating from your shirt, especially if I'm wearing white. You should see me. Every single time I'm in a car, my back is just water. Over here, digital cockpit. It's very small, you could say that. Again, AC vents, they're pretty sleek in design. Feels like a very minimalistic, unlike the Polestar. The Polestar is very basic and Scandinavian vibes. This one's a bit different. It's just like you have nice designs all over and satisfying noises all over. And you could also grip here. One thing I realized, like the Jetour, but not like it as well, here there's no handle for the driver. Usually in the Jetour you'd have one so you can put your sunglasses, but here you don't even have anything to hold on. So it just feels awkward. Even though they have the cutout for it, I don't know why they don't have the handle here for it. Let's drop the visor, pretty normal. It's a nice size, of course it's gonna block everything. And look at this, it has a feature here where it can hold 3 kgs of weight. I don't know what you're gonna be putting here while driving, or maybe at least when it's parked. And also in the bottom here, It has 3 kg weight limit, which you can put maybe, I'm assuming your bag. Oh, I didn't even notice this. Here, there's also space for storage. You do see there's a 12-volt port here, plus USB-C and USB. It has panoramic roof, which is cool. And I really love this button. It kind of feels like you're in a cockpit. All right, so let's get into the back. And just look at that, man. I was sitting comfortably in the front, and now I'm in the back, and I have so much space. If I want to what if I just want to sleep? You can sleep, right? But yeah, there's so much space. There's so much head space as well. There's big gap as well. Plenty of leg room. You'll literally even be comfortable. Even here, I'm quite comfortable. Yes, even though my back is a bit more straight, but still comfortable. You have a lot of space, which is very nice. Same material from front and the back. Then we have, of course, door handle here. A little bit of storage compartments inside here. And what is this? We have the vents. We don't have any controls in the vents. That's quite interesting. I feel like now everything has to be controlled from the front, so you might disturb the driver or the passenger seat too in front to do all of these settings and whatever for your AC. But, well, not big of a deal. But anyways, you get down here, you have a USB-C, and then you have a small storage compartment, which is deep. So I'm assuming things don't start pulling out from it. So we get to here now. Very simple, nothing much to it. Unlike the E300, which was overly complicated to get out the cup holders. This is just more convenient, very simple. There's nothing much to it other than you can keep your cups. Let's actually see one thing. Can you recline these seats? Yeah, a little bit. Since we have the table in the back, we can't recline them that much. But at least you can recline it like this. So it means you have even more space. All right, so we're gonna be taking this car out on a ride. I can't wait to experience this because I know that Chinese cars nowadays, their just driving experience is out of this world. So actually, let's take this right quickly. There we go. All right, and as we could turn, let's mention that there's 3D cameras for your signals. You're always aware of where you're turning to, which is very nice. I love it. It has that feature as well in the T2 and the T1, I'm assuming. Majority of the cars nowadays actually have that. So that's very interesting. And so far, initial thoughts, feels nice. I haven't pressed it yet. We're driving literally 40 kilometers an hour, very smooth. Now we're gonna be going against a speed bump. So let's actually test out the suspensions and find out if we're gonna feel anything. Relatively smooth, I'll take that. Let's accelerate a little bit. Yeah, that feels nice. Since it's electric, you kind of don't feel these jolts. I didn't feel like I'm going through different gears. It's just all very smooth overall. Right now, we are in comfort mode. We're not in eco or anything like that. We could actually test out sport mode. Let's try that out. Because I'm assuming when we go sports mode, we will actually be entering snow. We're not going on snow. We're on muddy roads. Sports, I'm assuming it will actually activate the engine of the car as well, rather than just keeping it on electric. This car has all the features you could think about. It has autopilot, cruise control, lane assist, everything you could think of. Let's say majority of cars have those things involved, especially in 2025. You should at least have, adaptive cruise control nowadays, or at least minimum lane assist. This car does have auto hold, so all I gotta do is literally just press on the brake a bit harder, like how it is in the Mercedes. If you actually press the brake fully in the Mercedes, it will actually auto hold for you while you're in a red light, wherever it is, in traffic, like where we are right now. It will just bang, hold. No need to put your leg on the brake. Is there any cool features that this car has that we don't know about? So it has the cameras. You can always have that on while driving. It has a 3D camera. So it shows everything around you. Literally from front, back, to the sides, all angles covered. Boom, switches, top view. It has an eagle view, as if you're in a GTA 5, you know what I mean? You can see the car from there, so that's pretty sick. Steering wheel feels very comfortable. And the leather that it has on it, even though yes, you're probably in Dubai heat, it will heat up and it will feel so uncomfortable at some point. But at least for now, while driving it, especially since it was inside the entire time, it's very, very nice and comfortable. It doesn't really slip, which is much needed. Guys, it also has, over here in the cockpit, it shows us the cars that are in front of us doing the turns. It has a 3D model of each car. Interesting to see, especially here in the cockpit. Yes, it does not have a heads-up display. That I was quite surprised by, honestly. But yet again, heads-up display is a luxury nowadays. And this car is made for everything, but luxury, a tiny bit of luxury, I'd say, a little bit. But the rest, performance-wise, that's what it's meant for. It's meant to go hit the muds, hit the desert, you know? Also on the cockpits, we can actually see the electric motors working. It shows you a 3D model and a diagram of the battery, which is central and under the car here, probably right under us. And it's how it's connected to the motors on the sides. I'm assuming it has 2 electric motors, not 4. Acceleration is very nice. Like I said, I've mentioned this before, but the acceleration is very smooth. Turning is very nice too. Speed bumps, you don't even feel them. So I could just imagine this when you go to the desert. And we did say that this car actually beat all the other cars in terms of safety, which nowadays a lot of people have these concerns, right? Oh, I don't want to buy a Chinese car because I don't know how safe it is, or I don't know how durable it is. Firstly, it's beat all of its competitors for safety. Literally through all of this testing, it's got the highest ranks in terms of safety, and it's being used by the Chinese military. What more like reassurance do you need? Because nowadays, if you're going to be stuck at the whole mindset of I need to go buy myself a German, or I need to buy myself a Nissan, which is more of, let's say, Japanese, Korean cars, but Chinese are up there, Chinese are getting there, and now you can literally see them more than ever on the roads of Dubai. Like, I haven't seen this much Chinese cars in the past 2 years, and you know, especially since they popped off recently. The first Chinese car that did come, well, not Chinese, but first electric car that did come was from Volkswagen, the ID4. This was kind of popping. It did have some issues, but after that, it's been not like back to back to back to back, dropping more and more and more cars. And you can literally just assume why. Let's start changing lanes. Yeah, see, there's a little bit of vibration, not as strong and dominant in other cars, but it is there. Make sure that you're always safe and not turning and doing things that you are not meant to be doing, you know, and now getting fines. It's trying to protect you out here. So like I mentioned previously, the engine here is a 1.5 liter inline 4 turbo, pushing 405 horsepower, which is all you need. 405 horsepower from an inline 4 is very good, especially for, again, a Chinese car. And I did mention, I think it said it towed 520. Well, I'll stand corrected, it tows more than that. It tows around 620, 650 Newton meters of torque, which is good. It definitely not as much as the Infiniti QX80. But yet again, those are 2 different cars, you know. That's like a car that's competing against the Escalades, the Nissan Petrols. This one, you're not competing against those cars. You're a mid-level SUV, right? So you don't need to tow much when it comes to reality, right? But yet again, I can't say how comfortable I feel in this car. Like, the seats are nice. We haven't tried out the ventilated seats. So even though we have the window out open right now, I don't feel that much heat. The infotainment system is very nice to use. It's very simple. And like I mentioned before, it's quite different than the rest. And that's what I was getting bored of, right? You have the, you know, the GACs, the T2s, the Jitors. I feel like they all have similar infotainment systems where they have the same screen, same features, blah, 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 and whatever. But this one is different. It looks more unique, which I like. It makes me feel like I'm not in the same car as the others. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share, like always. Let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite feature about the BAIC BJ30E? And let me know what car you guys would like to see next.